Future's all you. Here we go.
Welcome back to round 2 of 4, Tuesday night, hot modern action.
Ooh.
We've got a nice one.
This is a nice one. This is a matchup that was starting to come into prevalence as these Grixis Death Shadow decks really came into their full power.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a Grand Prix where there was like 3 or 4 Grixis Death Shadow decks in the top 8, and then the next major modern tournament there was these Merfolk decks came around.
Yes, there was, and they really just kick Death Shadow while they're down. This is not a matchup that Patrick's happy about.
Oh, good. Good. We're just going to watch a man be eviscerated.
I know Twitch outlaws snuff films, but we're getting pretty close on this one.
All right, well, I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole and a rubber glove. All right. They've at least wished each other good luck.
Patrick's gonna need it.
He might be all right. You never know. I mean, I don't think in Magic there's any matchups anymore that are like completely unwinnable.
There's none that are completely unwinnable. I'll give you that. This is pretty close. This and the original Jun v Tron are very close to being near unwinnable matchups.
Right. I mean, maybe I've been playing Standard too much, but that's a format where you really you don't get these like 90-10 matchups.
No. You don't.
Standard's much more like you know, if you're 70% against a deck, you feel like you're a mile ahead.
I mean, to be fair, being 70% on a deck in Standard is actually a mile ahead.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right. I think if I'm only 70% to win a match, a good player, like I'm talking about, like a great player, can make that up.
Right. Fish wouldn't have a terrible time. No, Fish is very heavily favored in this matchup. So Death Shadow spends its early turns dealing damage to itself, trying to interact with Merfolk's hand, but Death Shadow plays islands, so Merfolk gets free island walk. B, they have very redundant spells in their hand, so it's very hard to really affect them with discard. Spreading Seas in the main really messes with Grixis' mana because they run so few different colored mana sources.
Right. You can easily take them off of black or red.
Yeah. And they're just very fast. When you make Merfolk try to kill you from like 12 instead of 20, they're going to have a very easy time.
Is Smuggler's Copter a classic addition to this Merfolk deck?
Not classic, but you're starting to see it more and more.
All right. I love it. I love a Smuggler's Copter.
All right, so we're picking these up. Getting the ball rolling with some fish.
Right.
Third land for Patrick. He's got to really monitor this life total now.
Yeah, he's really got to commit something to the board here now. He's had his turn of like, all right, I'm gonna make you discard some cards. He's filled up his graveyard on a turn, and now it's time. I mean, if you stumble on the game plan against this Merfolk deck, then they're gonna get you.
They gonna get you.
You're gonna get got.
You gonna get got.
You don't want to get got. You want to go get.
Serum Visions. This is not the turn you want to be casting a Serum Visions, but if we can get some other action, that's fine.
So I'm wondering if Patrick is playing, if we're certain on the Death Shadow, or if. Okay, so there's the Street Race. So now we're locked in on the Death Shadow.
All in on the DS.
So there's there's versions of these Grixis decks that are much more controlling. They're interested in like doing things like Snapcaster and Kolaghan's Command. I could see them having an easier time against the Merfolk. Maybe not like the best.
Not really. It's still really hard.
Not the best matchup, but
you don't want to see the fish when you're playing any type of control. Like that is just not ideal.
Even if you had an Anger the Gods?
Especially if you had an Anger the Gods. I don't know what that means, but yes.
Anger the Gods is awesome against these fish decks.
So, I mean, it kills their guys if you resolve it.
Yeah, fantastic. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do against a creature deck. Is kill their guys. Anger the Gods would kill this Kiora? Kiora would die? Or Kira, the Great Glass Spinner?
Yes. Which may get replaced by a Merfolk in the next set. How about that?
Oh, is there a Merfolk with a similar ability?
Yeah, it's Kira, except it's the Frost Titan ability where they have to pay 2 more. It's countered. And it's a Merfolk. Still costs the same as a 2/2 Merfolk.
Oh, that's nice. It brings the cost of the deck down for people. Because those Kiras are expensive.
Are they still expensive? I thought they came down because they got reprinted in the last Modern Masters. Or maybe it was Eternal Masters. I don't know. Well, Patrick is pretty
out of this game because he just showed him 4 lands in his hand.
Well, there you go. Not too impressed with Kapala, which is that Merfolk. That's interesting.
While our players are sideboarding, we'd like to remind you to check us out on all your social media platforms. Facebook page. You'll be able to find out when we're streaming. In addition, our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at TopDeckProds, P-R-O-D-S. That's the only place we're not Top Deck Productions. And Instagram, Top Deck Pro.
So not the only place.
Not the only place. I didn't realize we had so many different names. So on Facebook, it's Top Deck Productions. On YouTube, it's Top Deck Productions Stream. On Twitter, it's Top Deck Prods. And on Instagram, it's Top Deck Pro. And of course, our Twitch channel right here, Top Deck Productions. You can follow us here to be notified of when we're going to go live. And if you like what you're seeing, then you can subscribe. If you don't like that, you can give us donations on Patreon.
That's true. And all the money we get from those subscriptions at Patreon go to fix Taylor's microphone.
Yes, that's the current. I think on Patreon you can add a note to your donation.
Fix the Funny Voice Guy's microphone.
Fix Funny Voice Guy's microphone so his voice is less spotty and just funny. That's all I want, is for my voice to be only funny, not spotty.
Only better against Abrupt Decay. Yeah, I can see that. It being a Merfolk has to be relevant as well. So what do you think for sideboard options here from Patrick? Obviously, this is not a great matchup. There's not any one card that can make it better for you.
Right.
What do you want?
Oh, boy. I'm trying to think of what's in. Like, I mean, you got to bring in, if you have Terminates, I guess. You got to bring in a couple Terminates.
Mm-hmm.
If you're...
You probably want to take out your Stubborn Niles. They don't do a whole lot here.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be the interesting part, is like what's coming out.
Correct. I think Collective Brutality is decent in this matchup. So I would probably bring those in.
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Any number of hard removal spells, I'd bring those in. I would start with Stubborn Niles and taking stuff out. Against aggro decks, you typically want to take out cards that deal you a ton of damage, but your Grixis the Shadow, you need to deal yourself damage for your deck to function.
Right.
So it does make it a bit more difficult.
I'm wondering if like shaving on Death Shadows and just leaning on your Taskers and Gurmag Anglers is a thing you can do.
I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see what Patrick decides to do.
I'm always looking for that that odd angle that I can hit, you know?
Yeah. I've been told that Collective Brutality is terrible. I'm assuming he's talking about this matchup because it's a fantastic Magic card.
Oh man, the Magic card is A1.
But I feel like being able to hit a Lord and drain for 2 is pretty relevant in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the -2 is definitely So the problem is if they get more than one Lord in play,
right?
Then you're out of luck. Or if they have an active Aether Vial on 2, then it's really hard to do those -2/-2s because they can instant speed a Lord into play.
Sure.
So that's it's just got a lot of angles where you can overcome that Collective Brutality.
Nate with the Relic of Progenitus
Already firing it up.
Seems pretty strong. Yeah, you definitely want to limit the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard at all times here.
100% of the time.
Even being able to exile this single land could make a huge difference in whether Patrick has a turn 2 Tassiger or not.
Right. Alright. So he's Thought Scoured himself. 3 cards in the graveyard. Another land plus a Thought Scour can yield him a Tassiger, but that's 3 cards he has to have in hand.
Serum Visions gives him 4 cards. A land, if it's a fetch land, would give him 5 and let him play this.
And, right.
Not in the cards, though.
Nope.
Second land for Nate.
Yep, and he's right on track here.
Here comes the Looter Scooter.
Now this card has to be really hard for Patrick to overcome.
So he's got Fatal Pushes, which will just kill it dead.
Yeah, I mean, right, but any card where you're going to be gaining this incremental card advantage and getting to look at all kinds of things.
Oh, sure. Man, look at this hand.
Mm-hmm.
What do you even take here?
Probably Kira, as everything else is at least targetable.
Yeah, but the Lord on 2, he doesn't have a third land. I don't know. I'd be tempted to take all manner of things here. Kira might just be the right call, though.
I just think Kira is the least beatable card. Every other card I can imagine a scenario in which I, draw out of,
right,
getting my butt kicked.
So playing the Silver Galad up here and drawing a card and then
important.
Getting to suit up the Copter and get in there is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's the plan I want to be on.
His card for turn was a second Kira.
Oh, did you just?
He just redrew the Kira.
Man, so he gets a draw and discard, and yeah, a whole bit.
Get rid of the redrew. We don't even need Lords. We got fish on Copters.
Oh my lord.
Oh my lord. Yes, I am not a fan of Nate's basics. I will give you that.
There's several things about Nate's situation that annoy me, but I wasn't going to discuss them.
Just the basic, more than the basics. Okay.
The place he puts his deck,
it's a little bit strange.
Is really bizarre.
Yeah, but we're casual Tuesdays. Yeah. NBD, no biggie.
Yeah, you're allowed to put it anywhere you want. There's no orientation rules for Magic the Gathering.
There should be.
Oh, do you think there should be a standardized way that we have to arrange the board?
Yes. And there kind of is. Like you can't have lands in front.
Well, no, that's for camera matches only.
Well, sure. Well, this is a camera match. Get those lands back there.
Yeah, but it's more written into like their policy guidelines than their rules of the game.
I understand. I was just making it funny, as Master Splinter would say.
All right, Master Splinter.
Yeah, Copter by lands is not ideal.
Copter by lands doesn't please me, especially because he has another artifact that he's placed north of the Copter. And so I'm not excited. I mean, I guess it indicates whether or not Copter is or isn't animated.
So push the Copter.
So he's chosen to play another relic here, which I disagree with. If I know my opponent is behind in the mana department, I'm trying to end the game.
Well, he's got 2 lands. I mean, both players have 2 lands now. That's all either of them really need to operate. Patrick does not have all 3 colors, and that's important.
But Nate could have played a Lord here instead, used all his mana, crewed the Copter with the new Lord, and attacked for 3 with the Silvergill Adept.
Sure.
So it would have been 6, and then Patrick would have been dead any number of ways next turn.
Well, I mean, he had the removal spell for the Copter anyway, so it actually...
It would have dealt 3, been at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patrick would have been dead to another Lord. So the removal spell, dead on the next turn either way?
Dead on the next turn either way, question mark, if you have that specific card and you have no other answers. It's very situational, is what I'm saying. And being able to cycle this relic to get a 3rd land if you've got multiple 3-drops in your hand is a pretty big deal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright.
And you get to keep a relic out to keep his graveyard empty.
At bay.
At bay. Any thought that spinny chairs offer maybe too casual of a feeling? Maybe they do, but I'm not willing to change them because they're pretty nice spinny chairs and
they're
pretty comfortable.
Really nice.
Yeah. Nothing like a good spinny chair to really play some Magic in.
What was it? There was a pro tour where they just had the most awful looking chairs in the coverage area.
Oh, so he has... Oh, no.
Just remember, Nate's going to 16 on that. All right. Oh, my lord, there it is.
There's a Lord, down to 7. And then another Lord is the end of this game, unless Patrick has a way to interact here.
Flaying Tendrils?
I believe I saw a Kozilek's return in hand.
Well, he's got a fetch land, so he could go to 4
and make it happen
to cast this Kozilek's return.
You got to do what you got to do.
That's an interesting card. It's very good against Affinity.
Okay.
Because it kills Etch Champion.
Right.
It being a colorless source of damage.
Also being instant speed, very relevant for when they draw like cranial plating off the top and you're not really worried about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Also is a sweeper that deals with
their animated lands.
The Inkmoth and Blinkmoth duo.
Ooh, man. Did you see these Nationals Inkmoth Nexuses?
I know that they exist. I haven't seen them in person. And I've seen them like in passing, so I haven't gotten a real good look at the art. I think it's a spicy promo though.
Oh yeah, it's a spicy boy.
Another Lord. In response, we're gonna wipe the board.
All right, so we're gonna exile the Kozilek's Return, which is very.
Patrick draws another land. He has a Liliana. He could turn the corner here. So Liliana is not going to kill this Lord, but it is going to prevent a lot of its damage next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fire up another Lord.
Yep. And so this Lord is going to let the Lord 1 get in for 1.
Nate accurately determines that he needs to kill Patrick at this point and not this Liliana, which is not going to do a whole lot. Oh, he's got a Death Shadow in hand.
It's going to be a big boy.
That's going to be a 10-10.
So if he has...
So you just got to shrink 1. Oh no. Oh no, what is you doing?
Oh no, baby. What is you doing?
Alright, so he could have possibly stayed in a little bit longer by playing out the Death Shadow plus on the...
Right, on one of the guys, and then he gets a,
takes another 1, goes down to 2.
Well, he probably takes 0, because... They're unblockable. They both have Island Walk. They give each other Island Walk, and he's dead.
Sure. Well,
we missed that.
That'll do it.
Yeah, you guys got a nice little 25-30 minute break.
Yeah, I got a nice break there. We'll be back for round 3. Try to find a little bit of a better matchup, I guess, for the next one.
Yeah, something a little more interactive. I don't think we realized what Nate was playing.
No, I had no idea.
All right, we'll see you then.
Okay.